welcome to this week's episode of the Voynich Manuscript podcast. I'm Finn Hamsley, and today I'm joined by...
Jacob.
And today we'll be talking about the Wizard of Mauritius. So, do you know anything about the Wizard of Mauritius, Jacob?
I have no idea what that is. I can kind of guess, just because I know a good amount about Mauritius, that it's probably some Creole witch doctor type thing, probably.
Shockingly not.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, then absolutely nothing.
Alright, so the Wizard of Mauritius is a man who goes by... I forgot his first name. Something Bottineau.
Bottineau.
Bottineau. Bottineau.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember his first name. And basically what he could do was extremely accurately predict when and how many ships were going to come into harbour. This was in the 1780s.
Okay. Ooh.
Like, down to the type of ship, how many masts they had, what, obviously how many ships, and when. What do you think?
That's a fun time for this to be set.
What, the 1700s?
Yeah. So Mauritius was made because of slavery. So most of the ships are probably slaving stuff. That are just like importing shit because the island doesn't have much natural things.
It might have been a bad episode to do.
Well, I guess the guy is just really good at seeing, eh?
Well, this is like before, obviously before radar and sonar and shit like that.
Yeah. He has a telescope.
He didn't. He could do it.
Nah, he was lying.
Well, that is a theory that he was just lying through his teeth and got very lucky.
He's best friends with the harbour master.
Well, no, obviously, there was a funny thing where my notes are all over the place, so I've got like 3 pages of notes, but I'm not going to refer to any of them.
Okay, alright.
Because this is such a weird thing that just happened. I don't know how better to explain it than just a weird thing that happened. Because what he would do is he would go down to the local bar and make bets. And go like, I reckon X, Y, or Z amount of ships will come into harbour tomorrow. That sort of thing.
That has to be a scam. If he's trying to make money off it.
Oh, he made a lot of money off it. And he became very well known in Port Louis.
Yeah.
Because he would make so much money off the people at the bars. And obviously because he could do it with such precise accuracy somehow. And like he didn't have a telescope, or at least not that people could find, or anything like that. He just knew.
Okay.
What? Going on the assumption that he did just know, what do you reckon he was doing?
Yeah. Well, like, very well educated guesses, inside information, that kind of thing. Like, there's no chance he just knows. Like, that's ridiculous. He has to know something that other people don't.
I lied. I am going to refer to my notes. So Bottineau was a minor member of the local engineering corps.
Okay.
Like I said, no high-powered telescopes were invented yet.
What about, like, engineering corps? Would that mean they do, like, engineering what?
Yeah, it just says engineering. I'm going to assume, like...
Like, shit.
I was going to assume buildings, but... Either way, it's construction is from the
Okay,
sounds of it.
alright. Oh, building as in buildings, not as in... Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, he could predict the ships from 350 to 700 miles away.
That's pretty far.
That is pretty far. That's what? I can't do the quick conversion to kilometres in my head. It's like times 1.6 or something.
Yeah.
Divided by.
Yeah.
So in my notes, the website I got this from said, he insisted these were products of neither sorcery nor good luck, and that they were rather the product of rigorous observation and years of trial and error, for Bottineau claimed to be an inventor of a whole new form of science.
It's called he invented math and probability.
Which he called noscopy. The art of discovering ships and land at a great distance.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And
Have you
so useless.
ever heard of
That's
noscopy?
so... Of course not. That's so useless.
Because it was
Is
amazing.
that, like, translated from, like, a different language? Noscopy. Because, like...
Noscopy, probably...
Noscopy.
Probably Latin or Greek.
I didn't say, is there, like, a Latin root for any of that?
I can Google it. I didn't mean to do that. But it was great, because when I typed...
Like, nautical nose...
It was amazing. When I typed it into my Word document, it was just like, this word does not exist.
We know. Oh, navel gazing. It's like an actual, like...
Well, no, the enigma of... That's his first name, I guess. Etene?
No, that's definitely not it.
I do not know how to pronounce. I'm not good at French.
I'm not sure either. I'm not used to seeing it spelled out.
Google it, people. Okay,
okay, so it is French.
It comes from the word nausea.
What? That's so dumb.
I saw it, like...
Alright, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also female. Cool.
French. Sexist sponge.
Alright, so... The funny thing is, the only reason we know of Bottineau today is because one Frenchman took an interest in him and was just like, you know what? This fella's pretty neat. I'm going to write about him. Hey. And it is the only written account of Bottineau anywhere from this one Frenchman. God, I obviously forget to write people's names in this.
It doesn't really help. Those don't really do anything.
No, but it's nice to have names. This Frenchman said that a Scottish physicist, Sir David Brewster, mentioned him once and referred to him as the wizard beacon keeper on the Isle of France.
Was it known as the Isle of France then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Probably. And for all his avowed scepticism, Brewster conceded that Bottineau must have derived his power from a diligent observation of the phenomena of nature. Which is just a cool sentence, in my opinion.
Also complete bullshit.
Oh, also complete bullshit.
Phenomena of nature being man-made ships?
Yeah. Well, presumably, like, this physician
like, the nature of, like... the probability of this happening.
Well, I was assuming that this physician was going like, oh yeah, he was clearly doing this by looking at maybe the tides or something.
No.
I don't fucking know. This is a made-up science from what's clearly a con man in the 1700s.
I mean, yeah, how the hell would they be able to properly, like, double-check that shit? I don't believe that they were that accurate.
Alright, there are some pretty other good quotes about Bottineau. There was at least one naval officer in France who, in the 1920s, just before the invention of radar, rendered the whole idea of noscopy redundant, obviously.
Yeah.
Writing in 1928, the British hydrographer Rupert Gould suggested that there is little to no doubt that Bottineau was no charlatan, that he had made a discovery which could be of some interest even in these days of wireless telegraphy, and must, in his own day, have been of much greater importance.
Well, okay, alright. Like, I get that. Because, yes, it's a pretty good thing. It was probably just a detailed thing of, like, math and, like, probability of figuring out, alright, these are meant to arrive, how long will it take for them to get there based on the tides and the winds that are going on right now, all that should be going on right now.
Oh, I found the name of the Frenchman. Francis de Soliac.
Yeah, you're not very
I'm not good at French, okay?
Yeah. It's fine.
I've been to France once.
Gross. As an Englishman? Ooh, rough.
I know, I feel embarrassed.
Stepping foot on enemy land.
It makes me feel gross too, thinking about it now. But it was very beautiful. The south of France is a very pretty place.
Alright.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yes, it'd obviously be fucking useful. It's like... I just can't see it, like, being real. Well, not real, but, like... Why this one guy?
I don't know.
Is this, like, a practice thing?
Not anymore, no. The only... Like I said, the only written account of noscopy is this Frenchman, Francis, having written about Bottineau.
That bitch is so dumb.
There is actually a thing, I don't know if I wrote it down, but I remember reading it, about Bottineau actually going, I will pay someone, someone will pay me £1 million and I will teach them noscopy. How to practice this.
And no one took that up.
One person did.
What dumbass.
I know. But Bottineau died like 3 months after getting the £1 million.
Good for him.
Yeah, he died a rich man.
He literally took the bag and left.
Yeah. Left to the afterlife.
Yeah.
So... Sorry, it's, like I said, this one is just a dumb one. A colonel in, I believe, the Mauritius Navy, or the French Navy at the time.
So I don't think they have a standing army even now.
Yeah. So Bottineau was basically able to confound many of the senior officers, including Colonel Trebond. Once again.
Trebon.
I'm not going to attempt any better than what I'm doing now. He was an officer in charge of the island's infantry detachment, and he signed an affidavit confirming that Bottineau has, at different periods, announced to him the arrival of more than 100 vessels, 2, 3, or even 4 days before the coast signals. Adding that, moreover, he stated that there was only one, or when there were several vessels.
We're just saying there's one or there's several.
Yeah. He's just saying he was
That makes it way less accurate.
Well, no, he was saying, like, he was good at saying when there was going to be one or several. So, the guy who wrote all this down said in a testimonial that what he believes that Bottineau was doing was that he would see signs in nature, like in the natural world, that indicate the presence of vessels.
No, that bitch is fraud.
He predicts that it wasn't an art or a science, but just something completely new. And he would do it by observing, like, smoke in the distance, like smoke on the wind, the way the waves moved, that sort of thing. Even, like, the presence of seagulls, that sort of shit.
Well, okay, I can believe that he might have been able to do this, but I cannot believe that that's his method.
I heard a very interesting theory, which I can't remember where I heard it. It was on a podcast, actually, that briefly mentioned this. And someone believed that he had... what's that condition where you hear sounds and you see colours, like based on the sounds.
I have no idea.
Like I can't remember what it's called, and I'll probably remember it at 3:00 this tomorrow morning. And basically, a very acute condition of that, where he would hear the sounds of the ship well in the distance and be able to see basically what it was, which is a very interesting way of like thinking how that works. I don't think that's how it works, but yeah, it's cool.
I wonder if that's possible. Like, if it is like a genuinely possible thing to just see, to like be able to tell based on those factors.
It would be
like, would you really ever see the difference of waves from a ship so far away?
From so far away, I doubt it.
Yeah.
See,
I can understand the wind thing with maybe getting the smoke.
Yeah, and the seagulls, I can understand that. Because, like, as someone who, like, used to live quite close to the sea back in the UK, like, everywhere is quite close to the sea in the UK, like, you would be able to tell, like, when the canals are full, because there will be a shitload of seagulls, compared to, like, when the canals are empty and there's no boats in them. There'd just be no birds whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
Like, that I can believe, because I've witnessed that. There was another thing. There was another quote. Give me a sec. The Soiliac went on to state that Bottineau often lost bets early in his career because the vessels did not arrive at the appointed time and had for a long time been the dupe of his science. But he seems to be persuaded that further study had provided solutions for the early problems that Bottineau's results had improved considerably. He went on to say, since the war has broken out, his announcements have been very numerous and sufficiently correct to create a sensation on the island. We have conversed with him upon the reality of his science, and to have dismissed him as a quack would have been an injustice. What we can clarify is that Bottineau is almost always right.
I don't like that wording.
Almost
always.
Yeah. That's like saying, he is right 80% of the time.
It was at something high of an accuracy, which, like, you wouldn't make any judgments of 80% accuracy.
See, I would absolutely love it if this was more well documented so that we have, like, statistics on how often he did get it right.
Yeah, but I don't really care that much, because it really doesn't help.
No. I mean, yeah, this is a very niche thing.
Yeah, like, even then, like, if he could tell the people who work at the harbour, hey, these people are coming in, it's like, alright, we know. They told us they're going to arrive on this day. We got it in the mail. It's, oh yeah.
Do you want to know something very interesting, though? Like, I don't have... I obviously have a lot more notes, but most of them are just more quotes about people saying how amazing or shit he was. And, first of all, we have a rough number of how many vessels that he predicted. 575 over the course of 4 years, between 1778 and 1782. Many of them 4 days before they even became visible. I feel the funniest part of this story is that after he was like, you know what? After he'd done that like £1 million thing, it was like no takers in Mauritius. He moved to France. And was like, you know what? I'm a big shot here. I'll be an even bigger shot in France.
Big fish, small pond.
No one gave a shit.
Big fish, small pond. Big fish, big pond.
Yeah. No one gave a shit. He was laughed out of Paris. Because he couldn't prove it because France is landlocked.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, dude. Pick a better place. Sorry, Paris is landlocked.
I didn't say France isn't landlocked.
I meant to say Paris.
Yeah. Classic Englishman representing France.
Fuck off. You could see France from the British coastline.
And you still think it's landlocked. Classic.
I meant to say Paris. You know I meant to say Paris.
Internalized racism.
Fuck off.
Refuses to even pronounce French words.
I struggle to pronounce French words.
Because you don't put the love in it, you know? You don't put the
The je ne sais quoi?
The je ne sais quoi.
Hate you sometimes.
Can you roll your R's? Yeah, do that more.
No.
Yeah.
Alright. Is there anything else interesting? I knew this
I like the idea of him just literally being like, he's like a fuck it. He can literally just tell.
So
Like, he is psychic.
Yeah.
Like, has magical abilities that allow him to do these things, and it is amazing.
It's like,
one
I
of those...
reckon if anyone else was on this episode, that would have been the first thing to come out their mouth.
Alright, so, what this is like, you know how sometimes people want, like, really obscure superpowers and like that? Like, we discussed, like, in, like, the X-Men universe, or, like, in, like, Hero Academia and stuff like that. What if someone's power was so fucking dumb, like... I can tell how many ships are coming to this harbour. And that's what he got.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, and that's what he got.
Yeah.
Some people can fly, some people can, like, fucking destroy buildings. He can tell how many ships are coming into harbour.
Botano just made a deal with the devil. It was like, I want a superpower. Okay, here, have this.
The monkey's poor. Like, there's no actual negative, it's just that he has that. And it's like, well, okay, what am I meant to fucking do with this now?
That's brilliant. Oh god, it is very funny to think just this lonely man in the engineer's corps, this lonely and poor man, just says, I need to win bets somehow. Let me just make up some bullshit about boats or something.
I suppose if you made decent money off it, it wouldn't be that much of a waste of time.
Obviously don't have an exact number on how much he made, because like I said, this is
so
not very well
dumb.
But it is implied that he did make quite a fair bit.
Well, okay, 500 vessels,
Presuming he got like 70% right?
Yeah.
And how much money do you reckon per vessel? Let's say in modern day money, just not to confuse us.
I don't know if I would fucking bet. Well, I assume it would gradually get higher as the degree of error. Well, I guess if they're not like.
I guess it also depends who he bets with, because it is stated that he bet with like high-ranking military officials.
Okay. So. I mean, I would like. You get to a point of hundreds of dollars, I would think.
Oh yeah, presumably. Like, if these people had the money to be throwing around, like. Oh, you think there's going to be...
No, do it with the French accent.
I'm not. I'm going to offend so many people.
That's your goal.
What, offending people?
French people.
I'm not going to offend the French.
You already have.
Shut up. I'm not going to offend them more.
You might as well just double into it.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah. You've already ripped off the Band-Aid, just keep going now.
I've already ripped off... I've ripped off like most of the Band-Aids, just like a little bit at the end.
Yes, just fucking rip it. Do it, come on. French accent.
No.
We'll roleplay it. I'll be the guy. You be the fucking ship captain or whatever, military official.
All right, go for it.
You start.
Hey there.
No, you gotta do the accent.
I'm not doing the fucking accent.
You have to.
No. Jake, I will end this podcast right now, Jake. You keep giving me those. Do it, you pussy eyes. Because that's what those eyes scream to me, Jacob.
Alright, fine.
That's called peer pressure, Jacob, and I won't stand for it on this podcast.
It's not my fault you won't be racist.
Thank you for calling me not racist.
Do you get that a lot on this?
Sorry?
Do you get that a lot here?
Well, on the podcast?
Yeah, being called racist.
Oh, immensely.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm not a racist.
It's probably just the stuff that you say often sounds racist.
Okay, give me an example. What do I often say that sounds racist?
Refusing to pronounce French words.
Because I don't know how to pronounce them.
And you're not willing to learn.
I try.
Alright, try it again. Go back to the name.
You can fuck off, Jacob.
Well, then I guess
you
that's
should have been on the Canadian episode. I was pronouncing them quite well.
You have no proof of this.
You could listen to the episode, you piece of shit.
That is a fair point. But until that moment, it's like the Schrodinger's cat shit.
Finn has both massively
immaculate and horrible French.
I think it's safe to assume horrible French. I had to make up my own pronunciation.
What do you refer to people that speak French in Canada?
Canadians?
No.
French Canadians?
No. There's a French word for it.
Well, clearly I don't know what said French word is, Jacob.
A Quebecois? It's like that.
As in they're from Quebec?
No, I don't think it's explicitly. But yeah.
Okay.
Dumbass.
Do you have any more theories about Bottineau? Or any final statements? What do you think? You never actually landed on a specific thing.
I don't know. It's probably not completely bullshitting. It seems reasonable enough to assume that you can probably tell from different signs. If they're just saying from literally if it's not that far off from being able to be seen, then sure, maybe you can smell the smoke. But 1780s, what kind of that's is that for the steam power? I don't fucking know.
No.
Coal shit.
Not on boats.
So they wouldn't smell like smoke or anything then.
There'd still be fire on the ships.
Yeah, but not.
Contained.
Yeah. I guess the seagull thing, but I don't know, it's not that small. It's not that small of an island. I don't know. He's bullshitting in some way, or he literally found out a way that we don't understand to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Or he's literally fucking psychic.
I'm glad that the whole psychic theory got in there just right at the end. I reckon boff, man. No, in all seriousness, I reckon what was happening with Bottineau was he, like you said, just he found some way. He was in the engineering corps. Maybe he made a machine. I don't a really high-powered telescope for the time.
No,
it's anything goes in theory time, Jacob.
We did mention being a psychic. It's not that far off.
So
he was a mad inventor that figured out how to detect things far off. He actually already knows who aliens are.
He invented. Stop playing with the microphone.
Sorry.
He invented radar. Let's just say that. 140 years before it was actually invented.
Mm-hmm. He liked whales and based it off that.
Yeah, what you don't know is massive ships actually make a similar noise going through the water as whale calls. So he just locked onto that basically.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, because
I'm sure.
The difference.
He just put his head under the water and just listened.
He just had an ear horn underneath the water.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. Alright. Well, yeah. Thank you for joining me, Jacob.
Okay, give me one French word.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Make sure to check out the Patreon, the TikTok, the Discord, yada yada, and Twitter, that one as well. I've been Finn.
I have been Jacob.
Bye. I always wave. Why do I do that?